good enough to feed a queen? Because if not, you really shouldn't be feeding it to yourself. If you are wanting to take the absolute best, most exquisite care possible of yourself, you should not be putting anything in your body or on your body or anywhere near your body that's not fit for a queen. And when I say queen, I'm not talking about some pompous, entitled, spoiled brat. I'm talking about a high-level woman who embodies wealth, who has really high standards for herself, who knows her worth and understands the value and necessity of taking the absolute best care of herself possible. And that is not easy in the modern world. Even if you have millions of dollars at your disposal, the way that the current reality, which is artificial as fuck, is set up is to distract us, oppress us, keep us out of our power, fill us with toxins so that we're too tired and too scattered and too foggy to actually be able to think clearly or feel or hear our own inner guidance or intuition. When I figured out the food piece many years ago, it was revolutionary. I do not have words to convey everything that I realized once I really started getting the food piece down. Really getting my body clean. You don't know what you don't know. And you have no idea the levels of consciousness and ways of being and feeling that you're meant to have access to that you've never had access to because you have been born and raised in a toxic modern Western civilization, and you have probably never experienced what it feels like to not have inflammation in your body. That being said, with the amount of chemtrails, still being sprayed in our skies, with the amount of war chemicals, aka pesticides and artificial fertilizers that are being, continuously pumped into our food and our soil, with all of the garbage that I'm not even going to go into that's in our water, you can start to understand what we're up against right now. And so I just wanted to speak to that one piece for a moment because I have compassion wholeheartedly for the modern human who's actually waking up to the reality of the toxic soup that we are all swimming through right now and making and taking actions and making new decisions to help better one's own well-being. It is literally one of the most difficult things that you can do right now. It is extremely hard to be healthy on the planet right now because the planet is not healthy. She is sick. We have polluted the shit out of her and completely forgot that we are her. So we are completely polluted right now. When you really start to clean your body up and you really start to dial in your diet, you start unlocking different levels of consciousness. This means that you start getting access to new forms of thought and new perceptions of reality and new ways of thinking and being that you never even knew were possible. That is how powerful and important the food piece is. That's why I have added this as a module to this program, because it's so vital and absolutely necessary. And it affects the menstrual cycle more than anything that I have ever seen over all of the years, aside from stress, like I said. But the food and the lack of nutrients is a form of stress. It just has a very direct effect on every single area of your life that you don't know about until you actually get yourself clean.